A man makes his way through the New York streets on his bicycle.
Good morning. Good morning.
He has arrived at an upmarket Manhattan apartment block to discuss the sale of some items.
Hi.
The client he's meeting today runs an insurance-related business.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
From his backpack, the man takes out today's main event.
And it's oriented. That's what makes it so
It's
special.
a rock.
Wow, look at this. Oh my goodness.
So you see the flight markings.
Oh my goodness.
This unassuming rock is actually connected to an incident that made the headlines in 2013.
You get.
In February 2013, a giant meteor fell in Russia. The powerful shockwave that blasted through the air caused significant damage. The search continues for the fallen pieces. The rock brought to the wealthy client in New York is, in fact, a piece of this meteorite. It is priced at tens of thousands of dollars.
If you take every single meteorite known to exist, every single one, they still weigh less than the world's annual output of gold. There will be a time, I probably won't be alive, where an object like this will be selling for $1 million in the not so distant future.
There is a huge interest in meteorites among collectors right now. The people that are fueling this craze are the meteorite hunters. These are the professional treasure hunters who travel the world in search of meteorites.
See, this is the fusion crust here.
Well, meteorites travel for millions of years in space to reach their destination. To be the first one to pick something up that just ended a 1.5 million year journey is incredible.
Meteorites are treasures from outer space. Finding just one rare specimen can net a huge fortune.
Il y a des choses qui sont plus ou moins intéressantes.
It's thought there are a few thousand meteorite hunters in the world. A leading pioneer in this field is an expert from Japan.
探したのも多いし、隕石の数を見てるのも多分世界で一番多いのが僕だと思ってます。
It all begins with a small celestial body in distant space. After traveling for billions of years, it finally reaches Earth as a meteorite. They may even hold the key to unlocking the mystery of the solar system. We follow meteorite hunters around the world and look at the secrets hidden in these rocks from outer space. We start in New York. The city sees more trade in meteorites than anywhere else in the world. Darrell Pitt is a meteorite hunter. He has been a driving force behind the boom in the meteorite market here. His buyers today are keen collectors, with many meteorites already in their possession.
Is the most efficient parabola at which heat is.
Pitt has brought them a piece from the Russian meteorite, which he acquired from a hunter in Russia a month earlier.
Apollo and Mercury, Gemini, they're the exact same, right down just like this, and they're called.
What makes this meteorite distinctive is the fusion crust, the dark markings where the surface has melted. A meteoroid travels from space at a speed of a few dozen kilometers per second when it hurtles into the atmosphere. As it does so, the surface reaches a few thousand degrees Celsius and starts to melt. This creates the fusion crust, which is something unique to meteorites. It's rare to find meteorites where the marks left by the melting of the surface are so clear. Such fine specimens come with shockingly high price tags.
I have about 300 pieces of this meteorite. They aren't worth a quarter of what this is. This is truly extraordinary. You rarely find anything like this, and I'm sure from the Chelyabinsk there's nothing else like this. That is
I
a
just
beauty.
love this. It has so much character.
There is a reason why Lawrence collects meteorites.
And then the
He plans to open a space-themed museum in his hometown of Boston.
most of the large specimens were they were sold. This is one of the larger specimens from that meteorite shower.
When I was young, I went to a museum and they had meteorites, and I was able to touch them and thinking, gosh, I'm touching something that was in space for billions of years, and it was pretty exciting. So we want young people to come in and really be excited about being able to touch something from outer space, hold it in their hands.
Let's start with...
Pitt has brought something else for Lawrence to see. He seems confident that it will be the star attraction of the new museum.
Oh, I know what that is.
So pristine.
Goodness.
Came right through the roof.
Right through the roof.
Wow.
Watching television across the room. That's
In April 2013, this meteorite fell onto a house in Connecticut, the neighboring state of New York.
won't soon forget.
The resident explains how he was watching television when he heard a loud noise and a hole suddenly appeared in the ceiling.
He never suspected it was a meteorite crashing.
The fist-sized meteorite tore through the thick roof and fell into the living room.
An out-of-this-world story on a quiet street in Walker.
And this is what it went through.
The meteorite is not the only item Pitt has to offer. He had also managed to acquire the damaged roof and ceiling, too.
So this thing is going, and then...
He realized that the roof itself might have far more value. Each year, around 20,000 meteorites, including fragments, land on Earth. The chance of a piece falling on a house, however, is just 1 in 10 billion.
So we're going to have the whole demonstration in the museum. And the sign will be, could you ever be hit by a meteorite?
The explosion in the meteorite market is not limited to just a select few collectors. At the meteorite auctions organized by Pitt, pieces worth tens of thousands of dollars are selling like hotcakes. Buyers from the Middle East and Asia are snapping them up as investments.
people with a sense of wanderlust and a sense of wonder, of an existential desire that's not quite satisfied, that makes them look at the stars and now they can have something from outer space. The only folks who seem to be not so interested in meteorites, in my experience, are investment bankers.
Once a year, meteorite hunters from around the world gather here in Tucson, Arizona. This southern town, near the Mexican border, has a population of 500,000. February is the liveliest time of year in Tucson. It's when the world's largest mineral show is held. All manner of rocks, including gemstones, fossils, and even meteorites, can be found here. The meteorite section is especially popular. Meteorite hunters from across the world come to the show, bringing their precious collections with them. One man in particular is attracting attention in his distinctive cowboy hat. Marvin Kilgore is a veteran meteorite hunter with 25 years' experience. Kilgore is a legendary hunter, having amassed a huge wealth with his meteorites.
Yeah, I think you want to eat.
He lives here in Arizona.
Oh, here's a small piece. So you should try to pick this one up. I think this one weighs more than you do.
When one of the filming crew tries to lift the meteorite, it does not budge.
No.
How heavy? There'd be two people. Here, you get on this side, I get on this side.
The two of them just about manage to lift it up. In fact, one of the characteristics of meteorites is their weight.
And this one weighs 83 kilograms.
83 kilograms.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
This meteorite is predominantly iron. That is why it is heavier than it looks.
Now this is one that I traded. I do a lot of trading for a piece should be cataloged separately. Right?
Kilgore owns a few thousand meteorites. Yet there are no other meteorites to be seen around the house. This is because his collection is too large to fit in his house, and so it is stored at nearby University of Arizona. He talks us through his extensive collection.
So this is my collection of meteorites right here. I'll show you a few of my favorite pieces. I think they're all pretty much my favorites, but there's a few that I really like the most, and I think this is one. This is the one we call Heavenly, Celeste. It sticks to the big one pretty well.
This meteorite is mainly composed of iron and nickel. As over 90% of it is iron, it is classified as an iron meteorite, and it reacts strongly to magnets. Its cross-section reveals a beautiful structure, only found in iron meteorites, known as the Widmanstätten pattern. It is formed when hot iron and nickel cool slowly at a rate of just a few degrees over 1 million years.
So here we have an example of a stone meteorite, and this is a stone meteorite as found, except for we cut it in half, so you can see the
Stone meteorites make up over 90% of all meteorites that fall to Earth. Composed primarily of silicon compounds, they are similar to rocks found naturally on Earth. They only consist of 20% iron at most.
and a magnet sticks pretty well on it, but not as much. Now you can see it doesn't click to it. See, it sticks, but you can pull it off. So you go next to it with an iron. I have an iron here, and you see how it sticks to that. So this is a meteorite that I picked up about 10 years ago, and this is half of the mass. When you look at the other side of it, you see it's the most desirable of all the space rocks, and so you see how beautiful the inside of it is. Everybody wants to have a piece of this. They want to have it made into jewelry. They want to have it made into furniture.
This jewel-like meteorite is called a palisade. The parts shining yellow are a semi-precious gemstone called peridot. The surrounding silver areas are iron. Meteorites that are made up of a mixture of stone and iron like this are called stony iron meteorites. The birth of such meteorites actually shares a deep connection with the history of the solar system. 4.6 billion years ago, the solar system had just come into existence, and it was full of gas and dust. The gas and dust collided, sticking together to form small bodies known as planetesimals. As these bodies become larger and begin to melt, the lighter stone drifts to the outside, and the heavier iron gathers in the center. The core is what will later become iron meteorites. The lighter stone in the outer layer will come to form stone meteorites. The part where the two meet forms the basis of stony iron meteorites. When this astral body collides with another, it breaks apart into pieces, creating the three different types of meteorite. Stony iron meteorites, like this palisade, only make up around 1% of all meteorites. This means that they are traded for huge sums of money, over $50,000 a kilo. The palisade that Kilgore found weighed 700 kilograms and was valued at over $20 million at the time. Thanks to this meteorite, Kilgore's name became known throughout the world. The world's largest known meteorite is the Hoba meteorite in Namibia. It weighs 60 tons. It is too large to move and has been preserved in the place where it fell. At number 2 is Argentina's Campo del Cielo meteorite, weighing 38 tons. The iron meteorite that Kilgore owns is a piece that came from this. At number 3 is the Aniguito meteorite on display at a museum in New York. It weighs 34 tons. It was discovered in Greenland by an explorer in 1897 and was transported by ship to America. Back in Tucson, Kilgore, our legendary meteorite hunter, is on the lookout for a particular meteorite.
Lights, big booms, and it all happened around 7:30 tonight. People really from all over the state, even in other states, have been calling our newsroom.
In December 2013, there were sightings of a huge fireball across a large area of Arizona. It's believed that this was a falling meteorite, but nothing has been found yet. It is this meteorite that Kilgore has set out to find. He has come to see an expert at the University of Arizona, where his collection is housed. Astronomer Carl Hergenrother is working with Kilgore in the search for the meteorite.
One of them was completely buried, one of the pieces, and the rest of them were sitting right on top of the ground.
To help them with their search, they consult a database of eyewitness accounts. Nearly 100 sighting reports from residents have been amassed through the internet. This icon in the shape of a person marks the location of the sighting and the direction the person was facing at the time. The meteorite was sighted between the green line and the red line in that direction.
So we've got people that were looking to the north and people that were looking to the south, and it went right in between them.
Right, and you can see all the Tucsonans are kind of looking to the north and northwest, and you've got the people out in Yuma are looking to the east, and everyone up in the Phoenix area is looking south.
The data suggests that the meteorite fell somewhere along this line between Phoenix and Tucson. To figure out where the meteorite fell, vital clues lie in information regarding the bright light that it emitted. This is footage of the Russian meteorite from 2013. As it falls, the meteorite emits a flash of bright light. When a meteorite enters the atmosphere, it starts to burn furiously. Sometimes, a meteorite is unable to withstand the heat and explodes. A bright light is emitted, and it breaks up into many pieces. Having lost momentum, these pieces of meteorite fall at a much shorter distance than the original trajectory. Armed with these facts and figures, Kilgore has managed to whittle down possible locations where the meteorite fell. He heads 10 kilometers northwest from Tucson. The site is a deserted piece of land that used to be a ranch.
Hills over here, and he's
This is where Kilgore gets to show his skills as a meteorite hunter.
the hills will.
The search begins.
Metal detector.
The tool for the job is this metal detector.
Found for hunting meteorites is the gold bug, and pretty simple. Just one button turns it on, and then you have to ground balance it. And you walk like this.
Most meteorites contain more iron compared to Earth rocks. Already, Kilgore has found something.
Yeah, here's an old bullet.
Oh, let me see that.
There's a lot of things.
Undeterred, he carries on his search. A good meteorite hunter does not dwell and moves on quickly.
Or something, you never know.
The metal detector has found something again. This time, it seems to be buried under the earth. What will emerge from the ground?
There's a piece of metal. A piece of a can. You see?
Show it to us?
You never know what you dig up. I've dug up a lot of really nice things. I've dug up a lot of pieces of trash. If you don't dig up the trash, you miss a lot of good things. And it doesn't take long to cover up your holes.
The meteorite is proving elusive, but perseverance is the key to a hunter's success. "4 hours into the search, Kilgore finally hits upon something.
There's a piece. Right there, see it? See it on the ground? You see how see it right there?
Oh yeah.
It barely sounds off.
But it's impossible for an amateur to spot which stone is the
I took a
meteorite.
picture of that one with my iPhone so I know exactly where I'm at. You see, we just picked up this right here. This is a hot rock. You see the difference in texture between these two?
So, tell us
The
which
two
one's
stones
the
look the
You
same.
tell me. This is fusion crust right here. I can see fusion crust right there.
The fusion crust is where the meteorite has melted and turned dark brown. It takes a seasoned professional to discern this subtle difference. Kilgore carefully searches the surrounding area.
This is obviously a big piece that broke up. Little fragments like this. The first one was there. This one's here, so anywhere within 100, 200 feet, you'll find pieces of the same one, maybe even more. I'm in this pouch I got here.
True to his word, within half an hour, Kilgore finds 15 meteorites. The pieces are too old to be last year's meteorite, but it has still been a fruitful day.
You might dig 100 targets, 1,000 targets, and never find a meteorite. You might dig 10 in a row that are meteorites. You never know.
Kilgore's secret to success is to keep hunting every day. It is this commitment and hard work that have made him a legendary meteorite hunter. Craters result when a massive meteorite falls to Earth. There are some interesting examples around the world. Nordlingen is a town in central Germany. It is built on a crater that was made 14 million years ago. Evidence of this can be found in the center of town. This is St. Georg's Church, built in the 15th century. The church walls are made of a type of stone created from the meteorite impact, called suevite. As suevite is soft and easy to work with, it has been used in many of the town's buildings. Look carefully, and you too may find a piece of meteorite hidden right on your doorstep. We turn our attention to Morocco in North Africa, which is becoming a real hotspot in the meteorite world. Louis Carillon is a meteorite hunter from France. He has come to a town near the Algerian border in search of meteorites. As he reaches the edge of the town, the paved road comes to an abrupt end. The world's largest desert, the Sahara, stretches ahead. After an hour of driving through the desert, a group of tents comes into view. Carillon is here to meet with the nomadic people of the desert.
Alors je cherche des météorites. Vous connaîtriez quelqu'un qui a des météorites? Peut-être un nomade?
Oui, oui, oui. J'ai connu un ami là sur la tente.
Ah bah génial, on peut aller le voir?
Ouais.
Super, je vous suis.
Ouais, d'accord. Voilà.
The nomad brings out stones of all different sizes from the back of the tent.
Ah. Ah ça c'est une météorite. Ah super, ça très bien ça. Ça c'est une vraie météorite et une belle croûte de fusion.
Oui. Voilà.
Alors voilà. Ça.
It reacts to a magnet too. There's no doubt it's real. But how did nomads in the desert come to have meteorites in their possession? The desert is the perfect place for meteorite hunting, with great visibility over long distances. The nomadic people travel across the desert, herding their camels and other livestock, finding meteorites along the way. Meteorites are an important source of income. These days, many nomads engage in meteorite hunting.
Les fossiles des ammonites.
This meteorite boom began in the desert around 20 years ago, and it all started with one man. This is Carillon's father, Alain Carillon. Alain runs a shop in central Paris that specializes in minerals. Meteorites are traded for big sums in Europe, too. 20 years ago, Alain had a fateful encounter in a town in Morocco.
Ça c'est un très très beau souvenir. En fait, j'étais en train d'acheter des trilobites, c'est-à-dire des fossiles dans le Grand Sud. J'étais à Taborit. J'étais avec un guide, puis plein de nomades. Et tout d'un coup, il y en a un qui a déballé d'un sac de jute. Il a déballé cette pierre. C'est la première météorite qui a été... non pas, c'est pas moi qui l'ai trouvée, mais je l'ai reconnue comme météorite dans le sud marocain.
At the time, the nomads did not know what meteorites were.
Et quand je lui ai expliqué que cette pierre venait du ciel, il m'a dit « C'est impossible, là-haut, il n'y a qu'Allah, c'est tout ».
After Alain imparted his knowledge, more meteorites began to be found in Morocco, one after the other. The network of the nomads extends all across the Sahara. And recorded discoveries alone number more than 10,000 in North Africa. These meteorites all end up in Morocco, where there is a thriving trade. In 2011, a meteorite that astounded hunters from around the world was discovered in Morocco. Luc Laben acquired this meteorite from a nomad in South Morocco by pure chance.
J'ai acheté à un prix à ce moment-là tout à fait raisonnable parce que j'ai acheté une météorite belle, fraîche, mais finalement quelque chose qui au départ était assez ordinaire.
After being analyzed in a laboratory, the meteorite was found to have come from Mars. A Martian meteorite is created when a celestial body collides with the planet, causing pieces of rock to break off from the surface and fly into space. To date, only 130 have been discovered throughout the world. They hold vital clues to the history of Mars. Because of its deep, glossy black color, Luke's meteorite is known as Black Beauty. As it is a piece of Martian rock from 4.4 billion years ago, it has been valued at an unbelievable $20,000 per gram. We are back in Morocco. Louis Carillon is here to buy meteorites. Today, he has come to meet Brahim Etrouan, who is an old acquaintance of his father, Alain. He is one of the top meteorite dealers in Morocco.
Merci beaucoup. Oui, très bien. Merci.
At his shop, Brahim has lined up some meteorites for Carillon to see. They have all been collected by nomads in the desert. There are some ordinary stones among them, and so a keen eye is crucial. For example, this stone looks very much like a meteorite, but it's not.
C'est-à-dire ça ressemble énormément à de la météorite, mais pareil, tout est de la même couleur. C'est complètement uniforme, c'est un peu rougeâtre, c'est certainement de l'hématite ou de la goethite, c'est-à-dire un oxyde de fer bien terrestre et sédimentaire, mais c'est absolument pas météorite.
The next stop is a storage facility. Rocks that have just been acquired from nomads are stored here. Out of the rocks brought from the desert, real meteorites make up just a small fraction. Carillon is particularly keen to find Martian meteorites that attract high prices. They head for the roof, a place reserved for secret deals away from prying eyes. Brahim tells Carillon that he has some Martian meteorites for him. Martian meteorites are similar in composition to Earth rocks and should not react to magnets. Carillon's eyes light up.
C'est-à-dire qu'elle a eu une analyse en laboratoire, comme celle-ci. Ça, c'est une météorite martienne. Donc ce qui est complètement extraordinaire, c'est que là, je tiens dans les mains un gros morceau, quand même, de la planète Mars. Donc dans la tête, c'est complètement magique. C'est complètement magique.
A single Martian meteorite costs at least a few $1,000s.
Ça, c'est vraiment une pièce de musée extraordinaire.
Carillon carefully assesses whether it is real.
Vous avez un Mars, non? Vous avez...
Si, à Paris, on a des petites tranches. Mais ça,
Monsieur Gauthier, c'est bon prêt. Parce que les prix, c'est pas comme avant.
Ouais. Non, mais c'est gentil.
Sur le sujet de la question, je l'ai perdu.
The price offered was higher than expected, and sadly, a deal could not be struck. The last item on offer is this small, dark piece. Carillon is told that it is in fact a piece from Black Beauty.
How many grams?
5. Donc là j'ai dans la main une voiture, une belle voiture, enfin une voiture.
If it is real, this tiny piece alone would cost nearly $100,000.
Best one.
After deliberating for over an hour, Carillon decides not to buy any of the Martian meteorites this time.
Merci beaucoup.
Martian meteorites are the trickiest to identify correctly. To pick out the genuine article, you not only need a hunter's experience, but scientific expertise too.
Le Maroc, depuis une dizaine d'années, est devenu vraiment la plaque tournante du commerce des météorites. Et c'est là que tout se passe dans le monde. C'est devenu l'endroit où les Américains, les Japonais, les Français, l'Europe entière, enfin les Russes, tout le monde vient s'approvisionner ici en météorites.
A little known but vast meteorite network extends over North Africa. The desert nomads play a crucial role in satisfying the global demand for meteorites. It's not just people today who have been captivated by meteorites. This is the ancient site of Alaca Hoyak in eastern Turkey. These ruins are thought to be royal tombs built around 2300 BCE. This gold-embellished dagger was excavated from the ruins. It revealed a surprising connection with meteorites. When scientists from Japan analyzed the dagger, they found that the blade was made out of iron from a meteorite. The Hittites are thought to be the first people in the history of humankind to develop iron-working technology in the 17th century BCE. Yet, 500 years before this, ancient people had used a meteorite as material to make an iron dagger.
今回のアラジャホイックの場合はお墓の副葬品ですので、王族が亡くなった時に、お守りとしてその鉄剣をね一緒に入れるというそういう意味を持ってますので、いかにその鉄っていうものが貴重なものとして考えられていたかということを示すものだと思います。
Meteorite iron is far harder than the bronze used at the time, and it would have been a priceless treasure. All over the world, hunters are eagerly searching for meteorites. One country holds a vast number of them. That country is Japan. The person who amassed this huge collection is Hideyasu Kojima. He shows us his valuable collection. 17,000 meteorites are stored here. It is the world's second largest collection, after that of NASA in the USA. All kinds of meteorites, from pallasites to Martian meteorites, can be found here.
隕石って大体種類で分けると60種類くらいあって、それぞれの種類にそのいくつかの、亜種っていうのがありますけれども、それらも大体見てるしという感じになりますよね。 探したのも多いし、隕石の数を見てるのも多分世界で一番多いのは僕だと思ってます。
How has he managed to find so many meteorites? In Japan, only around 50 meteorites have been found to date. A great number of the meteorites have come from here. Over 10,000 kilometers from Japan, all the way in Antarctica. In fact, 80% of all the world's meteorites have been found in Antarctica. Kojima is a professor at Japan's National Institute of Polar Research and is a leading expert on Antarctic meteorites. This is footage from a meteorite hunting expedition in 2013. The search takes place around 300 kilometers from Showa Station, Japan's Antarctic research base. Here, where everything is covered in white ice, it is easy to spot black meteorites. The team eschews tools like metal detectors and instead relies on the naked eye. It is this approach that is critical to the research on meteorites. They spot a tiny stone on the ice. It is a meteorite, around 2 centimeters big. They proceed to record the exact location and condition in which it was found. They check the location using GPS and take photographs. All the while, they never touch the meteorite itself. They also never use magnets, unlike other hunters. This is to preserve every piece of information regarding any substances or magnetism that remains on the meteorite.
それだけ南極にあった隕石ってきれいな環境に置かれてて、人間という汚れの塊なので、人間が近づくだけで隕石が汚れてしまって、要するに隕石そのものが持ってる非常に微量な情報っていうのかな、微弱な情報を消してしまうからということになりますよね。
The reason why Japan possesses so many meteorites lies in the topography of Antarctica. Most of the meteorites are found in the Yamato Mountains near Showa Station. The surface of Antarctica is covered in thick glacial ice. As soon as meteorites fall here, they get swallowed up by the ice. Glaciers move at a speed of a few dozen meters per year. When a glacier hits a tall mountain along the way, its flow is stopped. The wind and light cause the ice to evaporate, and the meteorites begin to accumulate. This is why there are so many of them in the Yamato Mountains. Meteorites found by the Polar Expedition Team are brought here to the National Institute of Polar Research in Tokyo. They are first of all analyzed to determine their type, and then they are classified and stored. A proportion of them are loaned out to other research institutions around the world as samples. The most valuable item in the Institute's collection is this Martian meteorite. It weighs 13.7 kilograms. It is the second heaviest Martian meteorite in the world. This is a meteorite from the Moon. Only 180 of them have been found so far. The composition of this meteorite is different to that of lunar rock samples collected in the Apollo missions, and so it's thought that it comes from the other side of the Moon. This is what scientists are most interested in now: carbonaceous chondrites. Chondrites are a kind of stone meteorite. Inside, there are round flecks, known as chondrules. These tiny grains contain secrets to the history of the solar system. The basic components of chondrules are gas and dust that existed from the beginning of the solar system. They also contain substances such as water and amino acids. The small celestial bodies containing these chondrules kept colliding violently with each other. The intense heat this generated made the chondrules evaporate and disappear. But there were some celestial bodies that miraculously evaded collision. These continue to drift in space, retaining all the information from when the solar system came into being. When these small bodies fall to Earth by chance, we get carbonaceous chondrites.
それも46億年前太陽系ができた時の情報を持ってますから、だからそれを手に入れて、太陽系ができた頃のこと、地球ができた頃のことを知る、手がかりにするということですよね。
Research is being carried out on the origins of life using this carbonaceous chondrite. There is a mystery surrounding amino acids, the building blocks of all life on Earth. Although they contain the same atoms, there are two types of amino acids whose structures are mirror images of each other. They are known as optical isomers and are classified into L amino acids and D amino acids. When amino acids are synthesized artificially, an equal amount of L and D types are produced. But with amino acids found naturally in organisms on Earth, only the L type is found. This was one of life's greatest mysteries. Hiroshi Naraoka is a professor at Kyushu University Graduate School. He is an expert on composition analysis of meteorites. Naraoka is researching the relationship between meteorites and the mystery of amino acids. He ground some carbonaceous chondrite into powder and measured the amount of L and D amino acids present.
アミノ酸アラニンという左と右を持つアミノ酸があるんですけども、それを分析してみると、若干 L が過剰なような結果が得られたということですね。
The meteorite contained a fraction more L amino acids. It was this small difference that played a big part in the formation of amino acids. Before there was life on Earth, it is believed that there were equal numbers of L and D amino acids. Then, by random chance, a meteorite fell, containing just slightly more L amino acids. In amino acid synthesis, once the balance is tipped, all of a sudden only one of the types carries on multiplying. It's possible that a meteorite created a world made up of just L amino acids.
それは不正増殖といいまして1対1である分には1対1なんですけども、それになんか片方が増えるようなちょっとでもずれるとそっちの方にバーッと流れていくっていうシステムがですねある、実験上ある、それは知られててそういうきっかけを与えることになるんじゃないかということですね。
A new mission is seeking to find out more about this mysterious relationship between meteorites and life on Earth. Carrying out the mission is the Japanese asteroid explorer Hayabusa 2. Its target is an asteroid found between Earth and Mars. This asteroid is covered in a type of rock similar to carbonaceous chondrite. The plan is to collect samples of the rock to bring back to Earth. Where did life on Earth come from? Are meteorites linked to the evolution of life? These are some of the questions that the mission hopes to answer. From the far corners of space, meteorites come to us by sheer chance. Around the world, hunters continue their search for meteorites.
Tomorrow comes, tomorrow goes. Oh, we'll find one tomorrow. And eventually, that tomorrow comes, and we do find another piece. And it's you never know. You never know until you dig something up.
Les météorites, en soi, c'est pas très beau. Enfin, moi, je trouve ça très joli. Mais c'est noir, ça ressemble à un caillou banal. Mais ce qui est complètement fabuleux, c'est juste le fait que ça vienne de l'espace. Voilà, ça peut déjà faire complètement fantasmer les gens.
Meteorites hold the key to unraveling the history of the solar system, stretching back 4.6 billion years. They are an invaluable bridge connecting humankind to this vast universe.